Sports Podcast. Today, we're going to be talking about...
This is a World Cup free podcast. No soccer here.
Please like and subscribe, and I'm going to give this podcast to my brother.
LeBron James has done the impossible. He is now joining the Los Angeles Lakers for the next 5 years. And now it seems like the road to the Larry O'Brien Trophy, the road to the NBA Championship, will now go exclusively through the Western Conference. And that's not good for league parity. But the NBA has a problem on its hands. Now, LeBron's path to the NBA Finals just got harder, not better, as he now has to go through teams like the Houston Rockets, through teams like San Antonio, through teams like the Golden State Warriors to get to the NBA Finals. But a major coup by Magic Johnson. I'm sure many of you are probably wondering, why did LeBron James decide to take his talents from the Eastern Conference to the Western Conference? And why did LeBron decide to go, of all places, to the Lakers, to LA? And the reason is not what you think. The reason LeBron James decided to take his talents from the East Coast to the West Coast wasn't because he wanted to beat Golden State. The reason why he wanted to take his talents from the East Coast to the West Coast was because I took my first trip to the West Coast, and the day I leave California, that was the day that it was announced LeBron was taking his talents to Hollywood. LeBron James took his talents to Hollywood the day I left to go back home, and had a great trip to Cali. We went and had a great time. We went to the Ronald Reagan Library. We went to Dodger Stadium, took in a Dodger dog at Dodger Stadium, and strangely enough saw the Cubs play the Dodgers at Dodger Stadium. Watched Clayton Kershaw, the best pitcher in the game, start the game at Dodger Stadium. He struck out 6 batters, but the best part was the Cubs ended up getting the win. 11-5, the Cubs defeated the Dodgers. Anthony Rizzo, 4 for 5, 2 doubles, drove in 3 RBIs. Addison Russell, a huge home run of the game. And the Dodgers were defeated, although I still think if they had left Clayton Kershaw in the game, the Dodgers would have won. He had his good stuff going on. Kershaw did 5 innings pitched, 4 hits, no walks, and 6 strikeouts in the game. Would have been interesting to see what he could have done had he been allowed to stay in the game a little bit longer. But lucky for the Cubs, the Dodgers pulled him, and they went to the bullpen. Walker Buehler of the Dodgers, it was the guy who ended up taking the loss. And Cishek for the Cubs ended up getting the win. Steve Cishek got the win. He went to 2-0 on the season. The Cubs got 11 runs on 15 hits, no errors. The Dodgers got 5 runs, 9 hits, and 1 error. And what a game it was. Never did I think I would see Kershaw pitch, let alone see him pitch in Dodger Stadium. It was really weird. It was really cool because when we sat down, you go down on the right side and you can see the home bullpen, and you could see Clayton Kershaw warming up in the bullpen. That was an incredible experience, one I don't think I will ever forget, watching Kershaw pitch in person. I don't normally get to see stars before the All-Star game, so that was a really great experience. I want to thank my uncle and his family for allowing us to have a good time out there. That was fun. And the best part, day after that, we got to see the Hollywood sign. That was very cool. A lot of fun. So Mookie Betts of the Boston Red Sox had one of the great at-bats of the year on Thursday against Toronto. He was up there at the plate. A 13-pitch at-bat, 1 dropped foul ball, and overturned out. And then a fastball from J.A. Happ, the Blue Jays pitcher, threw the ball, and Mookie Betts crushed a grand slam home run. And that was all the Red Sox would need as they got the win, a 5-2 lead, and they ended up getting the win over Toronto, and that was an incredible moment. A 13 pitch at bat, and the Red Sox got the win. And an incredible grand slam home run by Mookie Betts. And Mookie Betts, who leads the league in home runs, will not be in the Major League Baseball home run derby. So the home run leader will not be in the home run derby. That's pretty unprecedented, but there's still going to be some big lumber in the home run derby. And so, home run derby, of course, the hometown kid Bryce Harper will be in the home run derby. Jesus Aguilar of the Brewers, Bryce Hoskins of the Phillies, Alex Bregman of the Astros, Kyle Schwarber, the Cubs outfielder, and Bryce Harper of the Nationals, Freddie Freeman, the Braves first baseman, Max Muncy of the Dodgers, and Javier Baez of the Cubs are all set to compete in the home run. I cannot wait to see take part in the home run derby. Actually, it's not going to be Bryce Harper, but I cannot wait for Javier Baez to swing for the fences, to swing out of his shoe tops, to try to hit a ball 450 feet in Washington, D.C. Really, they're all going to be trying to do that to make the home run derby a very special time of year, a year where the players should relax, have a little bit of fun, and the fans can relax, have a little bit of fun. It's the best time of year in baseball, the Midsummer Classic, and it's a great time of year to be a baseball fan. Now, last year on this podcast, I have recommended to Major League Baseball that the Hall of Fame induction ceremony should be held during the week of the Hall of Fame of the All-Star Game. Should be held during. So a year ago on this podcast, I recommended to whoever was listening at the time that Major League Baseball should move the Hall of Fame induction ceremonies in Cooperstown, instead of being on July 31st at the end of the month, to during the All-Star festivities in Cooperstown, during the All-Star Game festivities at the stadium. And it should also, so here's my idea. Monday, home run derby. Tuesday, All-Star Game. And then use the Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday of that weekend before games resume to have the Hall of Fame induction ceremony in Cooperstown. That way the game of baseball can pause for a moment. You just celebrated your present stars. Now go back and remember the previous stars during the home run derby while there are no games being played, so the ceremony can receive its proper due, proper excellence in the ceremony. I think it's a good idea, and I think it's one that should at least be tried. It's one that will at least probably bring more fans. Cooperstown's already pretty packed out for the Hall of Fame induction ceremony, but it's a good idea, at least one way to have baseball focus on the game a bit more often, a bit more realistically. It's a good idea. I think so. So the Hall of Fame induction ceremony should be held during the week when the All-Star Game festivities are being held. Major League Baseball should implement this idea, or at least work towards this idea becoming a reality. It will be good for the game. And one more thing. This is the final month without any football, any NFL football on the schedule. Training camp is upcoming, and then preseason, and then the regular season will get started. It's the last month without any football, the NFL football on the schedule, and it's a great time of year, depending on what you think about football and the NFL. It's the last month without any football, I know I'm excited for the upcoming season, even though I've said I really don't think Dallas will do much this year, unfortunately. I think it's a lost year for Dallas fans, but we'll see. And I still have a little bit of optimism that hopefully something good will come out of this year. Maybe see the third-year development of Dak Prescott. Maybe see Rico Gathers take over as the starting tight end of the Cowboys in the absence of Jason Witten. Maybe see Ezekiel Elliott rush for another 1,000-yard season behind the best offensive line of the NFL. There's still a lot of hope for the Dallas this year, even if I don't think the Cowboys are necessarily going to win a lot of games this year. Cowboys are just kind of mired in mediocrity, unfortunately, and that's all they have to show for it. They can win a bunch of games during the regular season, but can they get over that hump? Can they be like the great Cowboys of old? Can they get all the way to the top? Can they get to the level that Roger Staubach took them? Can they get to the level that Troy Aikman took them? Why are Staubach and Aikman remembered so fondly by Dallas fans? It's because they have the hardware. They have the Super Bowls. They have the championships. And that's why they are so fondly remembered. Why is Jimmy Johnson remembered and why is Wade Phillips not remembered? Well, it's because Jimmy Johnson got the Cowboys to a Super Bowl. Wade Phillips did not. And much as I've been critical of Jerry Jones about how much I think he has hurt the Dallas Cowboys instead of helping them, I mean, Jerry Jones is almost stuck in the 90s. He almost seems to be like he's desperately trying to get one more Super Bowl out of so he can get himself one more ring in that trophy case. But Jerry Jones, I don't think he's going to get one more ring as the owner of this Dallas Cowboys franchise, I'm afraid. Pains me to say it tremendously because I bleed Dallas Cowboys blue, but the Cowboys need a new owner, and I don't like saying that at all because Jerry Jones is a likable guy. He's a cool guy, but I just think something new in the front office would be a welcome change for the Dallas Cowboys. By the way, next week on the Power Zone Sports Podcast, July 20th, we will be remembering the greatest football game of all time. And we'll talk about that more next week, so don't miss it. We'll do it on July 20th, Power Zone Podcast. Don't miss it.
Thanks for listening to the Powers and Sports Podcast. Please like and subscribe and follow us on Twitter. And I'll see you next time in the next podcast. Goodbye.